Welcome to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor.
Good morning, everyone. Guess what? It's December 1st. We got 1 month left of 2024, and we got a lot to look forward to, especially winter steelhead season. Special guest in the studio this morning, Mr. David Johnson from David Johnson's Guide Service. We're going to talk about early winter steelhead opportunities, how he likes to break that down and go after them. Also, talk a little bit about these closures that started today on the north coast of Oregon. Not for you folks up there in Washington. Closures of fall Chinook on some of the tributaries up and down the coast. We're going to get his opinion and his take on that, which there's a lot of different opinions and takes on what that closure is all about. But also, we're going to lean on him for the Chevy Silverado Tech Tip of the Week, and he wanted to talk about sand shrimp, how he likes to rig up sand shrimp. Now, we've talked about that topic many times here over the years, how I like to do it, and a number of other folks. Dave's got a little bit different take on it, so we're going to have that tech tip for you later on in the show. And, of course, for all of you that have been sending photos in, pay attention here in a little bit. We're going to show you some of those, and we're not scaling them down completely, but we're still getting tons, and we're going to show you also how you can send those photos over. Now, if you've been holding on to some of those photos, this is the perfect time because we're going to start getting short. It's that time of year. Not a lot of great opportunities to chase fish around right now. Not that there isn't. And yeah, there's some of those random reports out there of some early winter steelhead that are being caught. Most of them are rumors. You know me. If there's no photo to back it up, I'm not going to believe you. But sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. We did actually get a photo that does show a fish, and it did look pretty much like a winter. But that's also up in the air sometimes too. But if you'd like to call up and share any information, maybe you've got some questions, some comments that you want to get out there, it's the North American Metals Hotline. It's easy, 503-548-6777. We got a little bit of time built into the show to take a couple of those calls before we get Dave up and running. But maybe you have a question for Dave as well. You know, why he low-holed you, maybe why he got that fish before. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. This is your chance to call us up and ask any questions that you might have of Dave, or maybe try to book a trip with him when he gets back on the water, although it seems like that's going to be a little while, and that'll be a topic too, why he might be waiting a little while before he gets his clients out there for winter steelhead, now that things are a bit different these days than they were just a handful, well, maybe not. I guess it's been quite a while now, 20 years or so, since things kind of changed a little bit. Of course, this upcoming segment will have the information that you're going to need to make your decision going into this upcoming week. We'll check in with Carly Olson, find out what that weather's going to really be like. And if you're doing what I'm doing, it's not a great thing to look at, although there are some positive things here we'll talk a little bit about. And if you want to try to chase around some of those early steelhead, maybe you just can't handle it and you just got to go. We'll talk a little bit about that, of course, and what those options might actually be for you, because there are some options. Conditions are good. Are there fish there? You'll never know unless you go, and then you got to take those photos and send them in and tell us where you were and what you were using, and what color it was, and what rock you were standing on. I'm kidding. We don't do that here. But we do have a couple of calls that are already coming in. It looks like there's a question for, is that a question for David already? Can we go ahead and take it? All right, fair enough. So, Dave, you've already got questions coming in. Right. Yeah, interesting. So we're going to get to that call here once we have that opportunity. But let's go ahead and show you some of those photos that everybody's been sending in, and there's a bunch of them. Surf perch. Another year I didn't get over there. I can't wait to get my daughter into this. She's going to love chasing surf perch. I think she's going to love that. And they're delicious. Great photo, too, Nick. Good job. I believe that's a solid limit or more. Great photo, nice Chinook. These are going to, again, start winding down just because pretty much it's over for Chinook right now. But great fall season. This is Stacy. Great photo. And, yeah, it was a great year. Dave, how would you call that fall Chinook season? Good one?
Good.
Good one. Gunner's Blacktail. God, that is a dandy. Nice buck. Congratulations, Gunners. That is a... that's a trophy right there. It's delicious, and just a dark horn buck, too. Nice one. Honeymoon elk hunt. See, you're doing it the right way, right? Brian, congratulations. on the honeymoon and getting married, but also hopefully had a successful elk hunt. It was successful, obviously, to get started. So well done. Hopefully, I'm already looking forward to elk season next year. It's crazy how that works. Nestaka Double. Wow, we actually put the name up there. Good thing it's over, right? Okay, maybe we're not going to get in too much trouble. Steve and Doug, looks like they had some fun. Look at the drift boat, just buried in gear. Yep, that's when you know things are good. When you got some fish in the boat and you're, looks like, all alone, nobody around. Very cool. We're going to show you, of course, how you can upload those photos. There's a number of different ways to do it through our Facebook page, but we will have that Fox 12 app info for you here in a bit. St. Helens, Chinook, definitely not too far around. We've already got a bunch of questions about spring Chinook season, and it's December. Everybody, not everybody, but a lot of folks very much getting motivated already for our next Chinook fishery. Again, being springers here in about, 3 or 4 months? Winning Wednesday. Okay, well, Mike, nice fish. Interesting fish. I'm going to say that's probably a Thule, but who knows? Nice fish, by the way. At least you're out there having some fun making it happen. There's a lot of people wishing that they were fishing for those things this morning. Things have changed a bunch. That's how we got Dave in here. Fox 12 app, it's easy to find. Once you download it, it's free. Once you scroll down, it'll show you exactly how to upload your photos and videos. We love videos. Any videos that you want to send over, we do the best we can to get those up. And don't be upset if you don't see it in a week or two. Sometimes it takes up that long before we're actually able to get to all the photos that do come through. But before we go to this break, can we take Don's call? Don is from Vancouver, and he's got a hunting question. So that's kind of an open-ended one. Don, what's going on? What can we help you with?
Oh, yeah, I got a hunting question for you. Let's say you're out in the woods hunting, and you come up on this beautiful 4x4 buck out there, about 150 yards. And but the only thing is the buck is bedded down. Now, this is a really nice 4x4. So do you take a shot while the deer is bedded down, or do you wait for a while to see if it'll stand up where you'll have a better shot?
Okay, well, I got to ask a question. What am I shooting? What do I got? Do I got a black powder? Do I got a 7 mag? Do I got a 6.5? What do I got?
You have your rifle that you normally use for deer hunting.
Okay, so both, honestly. If I was in that situation and I had a nice 4x4 that was just bedded down, I had a nice, clean, open shot to either the neck or somewhere in the chest cavity, that's a nice, easy shot at 150 yards. With my 6.5, and I'm by no means an expert with the rifle, that is literally, I'm just going to pick out a hair, and I'm going to put the bullet right where that hair is. Now, obviously, you're opening yourself up to something bad happen. So first thing I would do is wait as long as I could get away with and wait for him to stand up. If he's not going to do it, or if it seems like he's starting to get agitated, if you start seeing those ears get back, or he's starting to get really, really antsy for whatever reason where he might be able to stand up and just bolt on you, as long as I've practiced and as long as I'm confident and as long as I'm good to go with my equipment, I'm probably going to go ahead and take the shot when he's in his bed if I have that opportunity. If I have a neck shot or if I got an open spot, if his legs are down and I got an open shot at his chest, I would be very comfortable with a 150-yard shot. Quite honestly, again, I'm not good with these things, self-admitting, okay? But at that short of a range, I can pretty much pick out a hair where I'm going to want to put the thing. But again, I'm going to give it some time. I'm going to see if something does happen to where he does stand up comfortably and doesn't seem like he's going to bolt. So I'm really going to read what the situation is. But if it came down to it, I'm not going to be scared of taking that shot. And if you were going to look at it from an ethics side of things, everyone, I wouldn't say there's anything unethical as long as you've done your due diligence, meaning that you've done all the practice, that you're confident.
Right.
Now, if I hadn't done that, and I'm just out there with the rifle that I haven't picked up out of the safe in 2 years, and I haven't done anything but just loaded it, I'm not going to take that shot until the deer stands up and gives me a clean shot. Because sometimes, now it doesn't always happen, Don, but sometimes they're going to stand up, they might figure out what's kind of going on, bolt off not a few hundred yards, a few yards, 10, 15, 20, whatever yards. If I got a clean shot and he stops, of course, I'm going to take that shot. But again, I'm going to read the situation, understand where I'm at with my rifle. But You know, that's really the best way that I can answer it. It all really kind of depends on what that buck is telling me. If he's got his back to me, I mean, that's also kind of a pretty one, but I'm more about, yes, that big 4x4, that's awesome. But if you've watched the show for very long, the last 16 years, I could care less about the antlers. I'm more in tune on what I can put in my freezer. And I don't want to, you know, blow out, you know, a back strap or anything like that. So again, I'm going to look over the situation, understand where I'm at with my rifle and go from there. But I'll give it the time. If it's not going to happen and I got a good clean shot, I'm probably going to take it.
Okay. That actually happened to me, and I had I live in Washington, I put in for an Oregon tag.
Yeah.
It was a special tag. I think it was for the White River unit.
Okay.
And it was during the rut, and it was the last day of that season for that special hunt. It took me 18 years to get drawn for that ticket.
Wow.
And so that happened to me. It was only 45 minutes left on the last day of shooting time. And I came up on this beautiful 4-point, and that's I asked myself. So I waited a little bit, but I was down to about a half hour of shooting time, legally shooting time left. So I just went ahead and took the shot, and I did get the deer.
Congrats.
But yeah, so it was a beautiful. But 18 years waiting, so I wasn't going to let it go.
No, hey, listen, that's another whole other picture to put on it, right? When you're talking about waiting that long to get a tag, that adds another level of, you know, what do you do if you do come up to that situation? And listen, everybody's going to have a different opinion on what it is or isn't that they're going to do in that scenario. You got to weigh all those options, and, you know, 18 years, that just puts another one on there. Rifles change things quite a bit. It's not a stick and string, so, I mean, there's certainly some things to take into consideration. But congratulations on the success on that. And good question, too, by the way, Don. Thanks for calling. We appreciate it. All right, we're going to cut to a break. When we come back, I've got a quick report segment to get through. I'm going to try to buy myself a little bit of time so that we can talk to a real expert. Well, I mean, at least David Johnson. We'll find out what he's got to say about winter steelhead. Well, I'm kidding. You know I love to give him a hard time. So don't go anywhere. We've got a great show lined up for you. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.